What's up, Wendigos? Finn's the Spook coming at you in the middle of the night. Had one of those where you go to bed and then you wake up like 2 hours later and it's the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep. So here we are. Figured I'd do a quick little video. Nothing I do is quick, but little interruption from the Halloween special for the month. We'll get to that soon. I know I need to get moving on that. We'll for sure get the Ghost video finished up soon. But just a little break from that. I picked some cool new books up. Also completed my first Facebook comic purchase. Wanted to kind of talk about that. A couple of y'all, I mentioned it in another video, and a couple of y'all asked me how that went down. So we'll kind of go over that real quick. Basically, a friend of mine just hit me up on Facebook and said, "Hey, dude, there's this guy I know selling some older stuff. You might be interested." He linked me to his page. He had like 500 something books. It felt like maybe with pictures and stuff. Grading seemed kind of suspect, to be honest with you. I think his grading is correct in the high end. I don't really think he knows what a fine or a very fine is supposed to look like. But anyway, I'm not going to give the guy's name or anything because he uses his real name when he sells the comics, and I don't want to blow anybody up here. But and overall, I was happy. This isn't a complaint, but his grading was just a little suspect. So I kind of was like, man, I don't know if I really want to buy anything. And then I found this Crisis set over here on the left. And there's number one. Bring it in for you. You've probably all seen these, though. It's nothing crazy. This is Crisis. I just didn't have a nice set. So this is a very fine near mint set. Or it was until he mailed it. So he sends me the. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. So I bought the Crisis, and then there was also what else was there? Is that glare bad there? Yeah, maybe that helps a little bit. So I bought the Crisis, and then I bought 3 other books. One was the Swamp Thing Annual #1, and then I bought 2 other books, which I don't even know what the hell I was doing buying these books. It was almost like I just bought them to make the deal go down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It was just one of those, like, I don't know why I bought them. So he wanted $75 for the Crisis, and then he wanted $10 for the Swamp Thing Annual, $10 for Marvel Tales something, whatever the one at the arcade in the Murder World is. And then he wanted $10 for some Shazam book from the 70s, not #1. Which I thought he was overpriced on all of those books. So I was kind of like, hey, look, man. And then he wanted $5 shipping. So let's see. That'd be, $110. So he comes at me at 95, and I was like, man, I'm not really feeling that. Like, I'm thinking more like 80. And he was like, oh, I can't do 80. How about 90? So, I kind of reasoned it out. That's 50 for the Crisis, and then $5 for all the other books. Or $10 for all the other books, rather. Puts you at 80, plus 5 for shipping, puts you at 85. So I said, yeah, all right, man, let's do it. So the package gets here. This is Crisis 2. The package gets here, and one of the corners is crushed. You know what I mean? Like, the post office dropped it. And the guy had written some stuff on there, like, don't drop, warning, fragile. Let me move some of these books. This is just becoming a effing hassle right now. There, that's a lot better. Sorry if my voice sounds kind of froggy. Like I said, I actually literally just woke up about an hour ago, and it's 3 a.m. I think right now. So, anyway, the package was crushed on one side. Not like totally wrecked, but definitely kicked in. Or dropped, more likely. And the guy had written stuff on there like, don't crush, don't bend, fragile. But he wrote it in Sharpie, and I don't know, man. Just God, dude, spend some money and get some Fragile stickers, man. If you're a comic book seller, like, just, kind of, man, go spend a little bit of money on your packaging. So he had bubble wrapped the shit out of them. Okay, so I mean, there is that. It wasn't like the thing they were just banging around in there, but the crush did get to him. You can't really see it on these. It's because it's just in the corner. Let me see where it is on this one. It's on the bottom left on this one. Right there. I mean, I don't know if the camera's even going to pick it up. The bottom left corner got crushed. There, that you may be seeing it right there. The bottom left corner got a crush, and this one really isn't that bad. But some of them are, it's got, I don't know. It's a pretty severe knock on some of them, and so I just mentioned it to him. I said, hey man, look, something happened. You can see that corner there. Is that one? Hold on. Yeah, this one really didn't get it that bad, but Anyway, these are really nice books. The guy was spot on with the grade. Very fine near mint, yeah, for sure. Maybe just straight near mint. But now they all have like some small crush marks in the bottom corner. It's not terrible. It's just a couple, I don't know, quarter inch or something, and most of them don't even break color. But yeah, so and there was no cardboard around them. That was the thing that killed me. There was no rigid cardboard, guys. When you ship your comics, I'm sure all of you know this. You got to put cardboard around them, like 2 pieces of hard cardboard, taped to the outside of the mass of comics, and they overlap a little bit. So if it gets dropped, the cardboard boards take the crush. I don't know, man. I feel like that's 101. I'm just gonna be honest with you. So I was really disappointed. And so I hit him up immediately and was like, dude, we got a bit of a problem here. Sorry, that glare is brutal. And I just said, hey, man, like the thing was crushed. And I expected him to call bullshit or expect me to be like, hey, man, you're trying to fish me for money. You can see the crush on this one's pretty good right there. He was like, I expected him to get kind of pissed off about it. And I'm sure he wasn't happy. So I was just like, hey, look, man, it's no good. The post office dropped the box. I showed him pictures of all of them. And in the bags and boards he sent to me, because these are in Mylars now, it looked even worse. The bags and boards were just bent up. I'll admit, it looked far worse than they do in the Mylar. The Mylars kind of clean it up. And so he was like, well, look, man, what do you want to do? And I said, I think I just want to return them, man. This is, obviously, this is my favorite cover. This is everybody's favorite cover in Crisis. Let's see if I can get the crush is on the other side on this one, because he had some of them facing the other way. You see it there? It's really not that bad. But I mean, when you buy near mint and it ain't near mint and it gets crushed, I mean, that's an issue. So anyway, I said, I think I'll just return them, to be honest with you, man. I don't want to start dicking around where you go, well, how much is it worth? And how much do you think it's worth now? And what grade do you think they're in now? How do you grade books like this? They're near mint, but they have a little crush. I mean, does that make them a fine? Does it make them a fine, very fine? Does it make them I don't know. I'd say they're 7s. I mean, the crush looks... I know you guys are probably like, dude, what? That's nothing. The crush looks worse out of the bag, I'm telling you. So these are, they're certainly not near mint. And so I was just like, I'll return them, man. No big deal, because I'm not trying to milk anybody. And then he's like, well, look, dude, if you want to keep them, I don't even want to screw with it. I'll give you 50% of your money back. And I'm like, whoa. You're going to give me all these books for $45? Because remember, there was 3 other books in here. And I was just like, wow, man, now that's, I don't know, man, that's kind of hard to turn down. So he was so generous about it. I ended up keeping them. Just because, he's like, look, just keep them and I'll give you 50% of your money back. He didn't even really want them back. So I think ultimately it was a good deal. I'm happy with it because the set is, as far as I'm concerned, still a really nice set of Crisis. And it's way better than the set I had before. The set I had before was a patchwork set that I just created from a bunch of different places, and some of them were really, really bad. So this is still a far better set than what I had. I'm real happy with it. And overall, the guy did me right. So I would totally buy from him again, with the knowledge that his grading is a little off in the middle. The Shazam that he called a fine had a subscription crease running through the whole thing, and the subscription crease was dirty. It had dirt on the crease. So I don't know, man. That's no way that's a fine. But whatever, man. I mean, I really should have bought the Shazam to begin with. I think I have the Swamp Thing annual and the other stuff in the other pile. But anyway, that's the Crisis set. So that was how my first Facebook dealings went down. I don't know, man. I'd really... I'd buy from the dude again because, like I said, he did me right. He took care of the problem. Let me just go and get those down. He took care of the problem, but... he didn't. I really feel like his shipping was kind of off, and I feel like his grading was kind of off. The prices were fair, and the customer service was good. So I don't really know how to rank it. B, I give it a B, overall. But anyway, so what else? Well, I've been shopping and doing some comic buying, and I picked up some cool stuff. So let's check that out. First up is Marvel Spotlight 6 and 7, the second and third appearance of the Ghost Rider. All right. Oops, man, the glare is just so awful today, man. I got these new LED lights, and they make looking at comics. They're a lot. Let me try that again. They make looking at comics a lot easier in my room, but golly, do they make this filming look bad? It's really washed out. I may have to switch this around, but anyway, we'll deal with it for this video. But I may have to use a new lighting setup for the next video because I don't like this. But anyway, Ghost Rider, Marvel Spotlight 6 and 7. Second appearance of Ghost Rider, third appearance of Ghost Rider, in pretty good shape. The 6 especially, man. I mean, whew. It's beautiful. Fine, very fine. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice one. I'm not crazy about the Ghost Rider. Well, I mean, I am, but I do like him. But I just mean he's not one of my top favorites. But I do think these Marvel Spotlights are cool. I do have Marvel Spotlight 5. I think I showed it off in another older video. This one has a little crease up at the top. Paid, I think, $20 for the 6, and $15 for the 7, which, I mean, I don't know about you, but that sounds like a deal made in heaven to me. Picked this up. Picking up, like I told you guys in an earlier video, I'm kind of picking up some higher grade stuff now. So, not that I wasn't ever, but, it's kind of where I'm at the moment. And I picked up X-Men 140. Just a cool Wendigo cover, or Wendigo cover, or Wendigo cover, depending on who you talk to. I just like Wendigo. He's like one of my favorite characters. I just think it's a super cool villain slash anti-hero, whatever you want to call him. And just in general, I like the cryptids thing. I think the legend of the Wendigo in real life is really cool. The cannibalistic, like northern demon, snow demon. Or, again, it just depends on which source you're getting it from. But the Wendigo story is really cool. The Wendigo legend is really cool. And the Wendigo character in comics is really cool. And I just thought, I've always liked this book. I've always thought this was a cool cover. I don't really collect X-Men as a general rule. But it's funny. On the one hand, I'm kind of making my collection more refined by collecting a little bit of nicer grade books. But on the other hand, I'm kind of opening the doors and kind of lifted my restriction on quantity. I'm kind of just... As long as it contributes positively to my collection, I think, I'll be picking it up. But this is a really nice book, man. This book is sharp. The guy I bought this from, which was All Star Comics in Gainesville, Florida, he had like 4 or 5 of these in pretty nice shape, and this was the best of the best. And I paid a little bit for it. I mean, I think that book was. Sticker price $55, which is a lot for just a filler X-Men, but in that kind of shape, man, it is what it is. I mean, I worked a deal, but picked up Amazing Spider-Man 245. Really not an amazing, really been coming around on the Amazing Spider-Man as of late. Really into the Amazing Spider-Man stuff. Or let's say I've allowed myself to be. I've always liked the covers, but I've always been one of those guys who's like, man, I can't afford Amazing Spider-Man. There's too many guys collecting it. This stuff is too rich for my blood. And I finally have just said, look, man, everything's too rich for my blood. Everything's expensive in comics. So I'm going to start picking up some more Amazing, but really just the villain covers. Hobgoblin is one of my favorite villains. And so this is the unmasking of Hobgoblin. I believe this is a farce. I believe they don't actually unmask him in this comic, or maybe I'm wrong. I say that and you'll see why. The only thing that makes this comic not really like high grade is it's got like one of those weird little printing marks on Spider-Man's head there. It's cool though. It's $4, man. Like sure, $4, sure. Also been picking up Marvel team ups if I can get them. The first maybe 20, maybe 30 of them. We'll see how that goes from there. Oh, whoa! Almost a calamity. God, this glare is just something awful, isn't it, guys? I do apologize about that. I think it's just better if I bring them in. So Marvel Team Up 18. Pretty nice book. I think the early Marvel Team Ups are real just clean, classic comics. I really like them. What else do we got here? A Young Romance DC Giant. 64-page giant, Young Romance. I'm sure nowadays if someone sold this on eBay, they would sell it under the, interracial couple controversial cover. And it would probably sell for more than you would think. I mean, that's the silly ass world we live in. But I just thought it was cool. Giant size of DC romance cover. It's got some weird color pickups on some spots, but I don't know. Overall, it's a pretty nice book. Thought it was cool. $10. You know me, I like to collect pretty much anything weird, anything a little obscure. Let's speed this up, though. We got a few more books to go to. Giant-sized Captain America #1. I believe the only giant-sized Captain America. I like the giant size of any company. I like giant comics. Just kind of one of my fetishes. Superman 222, which is another giant, although not an 80-page giant. If you notice, it does not make that claim. I believe this is a 64-page giant. Nice and clean, real sharp book. Real sharp book. And these ones always have spine issues, so that was one of the things I checked. Real nice spine. Real happy with that one. Amazing Spider-Man 200. A little later in the run for what I really want to collect, I think, but this book is just too amazing. Too amazing. I can't believe I just said that. This book is really, really, really nice, and the cover is, although it's really late in the run, for me, I think this cover is really just a classic-ass Spider-Man cover. Classic. Wow, I'm really killing it tonight, aren't I? Really classic Spider-Man cover, and that book's in really high grade, so it's another cool pickup. $25, I think I paid for that. There's another kind of weird one, Timmy the Timid Ghost, number 31. This is just a line of books I like to collect. Man, this glare. I'm freaking out. I am freaking out about it. It's really upsetting me. Let's just take these books down, and I'll just do one at a time. So Timmy the Timid Ghost, number 31. Toward the end of the line, I just think these are really cool, man. There's something about this artwork I really like, and again, the book's in real good shape. That one, he had a price on this one. He wanted $20 on this, and I wasn't so sure, but we ended up doing a deal. Kazar number 2. I'd like to get Kazar number 1. He had a Kazar number 1, but it was a little bit off condition. Had some tape pull on it, and I just didn't like it. Kazar number 2. Try to wrap this up because I'm going a little long here. Let's see. I can show these two at once. Cull 6. The Lurker from Below. And then Cull number 8. Wolf's Head. These are both upgrades for me, actually. I had both of these issues already, but these were nicer copies. Wolf's Head is a is it Solomon Kane? Yeah, I think it's a Solomon Kane story, and they adapted it for Cull. And then last 3. I picked up a Walt Disney Comics and Stories number 198. You know I like my 10-cent Donald Ducks. Guys, I apologize about the glare in this video. This is really something awful. I will not shoot in these conditions again. I do apologize about that, and I apologize about the amateurness of this video. I am groggy, and it's the middle of the night, so you're getting me raw right now. Raw, baby. All right, that was weird. World's Finest, 209. I just thought the cover was sweet. I like Superman and Hawkman. It all just came together for me on this book. And, nice shape. Nice shape book. You'll notice the Walt Disney Comic and Stories wasn't in the greatest shape. I'm still not buying just near mint, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to keep it respectable. And this was the one I picked up I'm happiest about. Amazing Spider-Man 63. I just really like Vulture. I think Vulture's a cool villain. So yeah, I'd say it's in fine, maybe fine plus. It's a black cover, so it shows the wear a lot. But anyway, yeah. So thanks for checking it out, guys. Sorry about the terrible, terrible lighting conditions. This will definitely not be the same next video, but I figured we'd do a quick hangout sesh. So yeah, anyway, thanks for staying with me. We'll catch you next time for the rest of the Halloween series, or October series, DC Mystery Month. Thanks, guys.